backdrop for the invaluable discussions at the partnership professionals and the scholars from around the globe. In the spirit of collaboration and the partnership, we invite all of you to embrace the opportunities before you, to engage in meaningful dialogues, to challenge ideas, and to forge connections that transcend borders. The diversity of perspectives and experiences present here is a testament to the strength and unity that can be achieved through global cooperation. Thank you for being here and for contributing to the success of this conference. We look forward to a fruitful exchange of ideas and to building lasting connections. We also hope that you find inspiration and engage in meaningful discussions that will pave way for future collaborations. Once again, we appreciate you for joining us as we commit as Kenyan delegation to fully participate in the 2026 ICP Convention in New Zealand. May you find inspiration and motivation that extends beyond the walls of this conference. Let this be a moment where new ideas take root and where our collective efforts contribute to a brighter, more interconnected future. Asanteni sana, karibu Kenya, hakuna matata. Your Excellency, Prime Cabinet Secretary, I really want to appreciate your presence here today. For finding time to be with us. And this morning, we have, together with Cabinet Secretary of Education and PS, we have shared various insights as far as education is concerned, as far as this conference is concerned. And we are really proud and happy that you have actually found the time to come and engage with us. And maybe the issues that maybe we may have discussed, some of them will be able to come out here. But for the sake of time, Your Excellency, I would like to say that this conference be the successful, the way as you see it is. I really would want to acknowledge some of those who have been at the forefront in preparing for this conference. I know the ICP president will introduce a bigger group, but I just want to introduce the Kenyan delegation. So kindly, the Kenyan delegation, the local committee just lights up wherever you are. Thank you very much. That is the local organizing committee. Very well. Thank you. We also have the entire National Governing Council of Kesha. Your Excellency, we had elections early this year, and that is when I was elected the chairman. I'm happy that Dimburi actually was able to leave and go to ICP. Now he's the African representative in ICP. If he never left, I would not be the chairman. So I'm taking time so that you start. The members of the National Governing Council, wherever you are, Your Excellency, these are all members of the National Governing Council. We are the ones that were elected. Thank you very much. And finally, the members of the executive, the 8 executive members. If you are just there, you can start where you are. The members of the executive, the national executive. Yeah. Cheriot is the vice chair. Raise up your hand. There he is, the vice chair. Abdinur Sultan is the secretary. Omar, just behind you, where we are going, Mamagena is the assistant secretary. We have Galari here, the organizing secretary. And we have Joyce, the treasurer. I don't know where the others are. I think those ones I can be able to see. Otherwise, wherever you are, feel appreciated. We are really happy that you have found this time and you are here with us. I'm also happy that the new cabinet secretary, you have also been able to join us for this conference, at least for the first time. Karibu sana, we are going to be with you. Thank you very much. And there is the PS is a man, we have always been with him. And with that, I want to take this time now to invite ICP President to come and make his speech. Karibu sana. Pigia makofi moja, ingine. Karibu sana.
Well, Jumbo, good afternoon. When I took over this job of President of ICP, the former President of ICP, Dr. Peter Kent, already warned me that in the job description is whenever you go to Africa, you have to dance in public. So I will make sure that, Nancy, whenever we go to New Zealand, I talk to the Aboriginal community over there to teach you something about dancing there. So, welcome, Your Excellency, Prime Cabinet Secretary, Wycliffe Musala Mudavadi, Principal Secretary. Welcome, Mr. Welcome Langa, President of African Confederation of Principals. Mr. Willy Kuria, National Chair of the Kenya Secondary School Heads Association. Karibu, dear speakers and all workshop leaders. And delegates from all of our almost 40 members and member association. Welcome to this 2024 ICP convention in Mombasa. I also want to recognize the great team that we are working with, the Executive Committee of the International Confederation of Principals. We have them sitting right there. And please stand up. Matthew Johnson, our General Representative. Michael Hall, Australian. Damien White, our European rep. Where are you? There. You've already met him. Indi Mulikai, our African rep. Over there. Great Master of Ceremony. Nancy Brady, our American representative. And also the incoming President, Dr. Peter Kent. We all know him. And last but certainly not least, Sophia Hughes, our Executive Secretary. Give her a big, warm welcome. We definitely wouldn't be here without you. Of course, Brad and Linda from the organizing committee. And also Ken from the AV and the band. Give them a warm welcome. The ICP, we have seen all the flags. 28 flags from 26 countries. We gathered here around to celebrate our cultural differences. We're a non-political, secular organization, but we embrace all the cultures, all the religions, all the beliefs, all the ideas from all our members in this society. We really warm welcome to all the learning that we get from all the cultures. And being here, I'm learning from the Kenyan tradition and the Kenyan culture every minute, until the last minute that I entered this door. I learned so much. And ICP wouldn't be what it is with all you here sitting in this room, because ICP is always, it's about learners, it's about leadership, but especially it's about people, it's about you. Give yourself a warm welcome, because you are ICP. The theme of this year's convention, Future Pathways for Learners and Learning. ICP's 2024 World Convention focuses upon the quest of educators throughout the ages. Already since John Dewey, Johan Pestalozzi, Maria Montessori, Helen Parkhurst, Rudolf Steiner, and all the others since then, educational professionals have been reinventing pedagogical strategies, curriculum design, and school system on a regional and national level. Educators and innovators have always realized the need to innovate in response to rapidly changing world. The need to innovate has never been greater than in 2024, since the world has never changed so quickly. Yeah, right. It's true, but it's also not. Teaching and learning has always been about growth and development of the youth, making them into self-aware, responsible and resilient adults. The basic elements never change. How to behave in a family, how to behave in a group, how to know yourself, to learn your strengths and your weaknesses, and finally, how to use the knowledge gained from your parents, peers, and teachers to become an independent person who contributes to his or her surroundings. But the world is changing. And over the next few days, we will listen to great speakers with huge expertise on how we as leaders of schools around the world can adapt to the developments we face and the challenges of the next generation. Please focus your attention on those ideas you can take action on. And you leave this convention, take at least one thing that you will start doing differently tomorrow. I wish us all a fantastic learning experience and a great time together. Thank you very much. And I will hand over to Principal Secretary now for the further ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the President of the ICP, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Your Excellency Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Julius Miko Sokamba, the President of ICP, Linda Jan. I will end there. The President of the ACB, welcome Mulanga. Our own representative, the African representative at the ICB, Bwanagai Indimuli, the chair of Kenya Secondary School Heads Association, Bwana Kuria, the chair of the Kenya Primary School Heads Association, who is also here, Bwana Nchoka, my colleagues from government, my colleague teachers who are here, and who are delegates here in today, distinguished guests, welcome to Kenya. Karibuni Kenya. Mine really is not to make remarks. Mine, once again, is to the ICP to thank you very much for having given us this opportunity as Kenya so that we can be able to host and showcase some of the things that we are doing within the education sector in this country. Karibuni Kenya, once again, as colleagues in the sector, let's take time to share our experience because I know there is so much to share. There is so much to share. There is so much that by the time we finish this week, as educators, we should have been able to get different perspectives in which we can be able to change the future because we are custodians of the future. As teachers, we are custodians of the future because we've been given an opportunity to co-create the future by ensuring that the young ones who are given to us are molded so that they can be able to continue with the relay of life. And therefore, it is so proud. This afternoon, I feel proud being among colleagues who are shaping the future of the club. So once again, Karibuni Kenya. Acknowledge my colleagues at the Kenya Secondary School Heads Association, led by Bwana Kuria, for the good work that you have done to put together this conference. Other than that, also you've been a critical team in the education reform that we've been carrying out in this country. As critical shareholders, critical stakeholders, and critical process owners. Once again, thank you very much for anchoring the competence-based education that we are now undertaking as a country. Finally, I would want to acknowledge all the teams that have entertained us here today, but most critically, I am informed that the band leader is our teacher at Mamangina Girls. What that means to us is that Mamangina Girls is one of those schools which will be offering all the three pathways because they'll be doing STEM, they'll be doing humanities, and with the band leader, I'm sure that they'll be doing sports and the creative arts. So Mwalimu, congratulations and thank you for being part of this journey and I could see your girls, and from what we've seen from the girls, it is a reflection of what you are doing. My teacher, Professor Ayiro, I can almost confirm that from here I will go straight to your stand so that I can acquire more knowledge in your book. Sir, Your Excellency, I don't want to go. I was told to take control of the next processes, and taking control, one of it was not making a speech. So I would want to take this opportunity now to invite our Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable Julius Miko Sokamba, to make his speech, and thereafter invite our chief guest. Karibu Wasiri.
Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, the President of the International Confederation of Principals, whose name I'll not attempt to pronounce, the Executive of the International Confederation of Principals, the President of the African Confederation of Principals, the National Chairman of the Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, since I am among serious academicians, educators, and custodians of the future, allow me to ask a question, and if somebody has an answer, we will give him a reward at the end of this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, how many decisions do you think a human mind makes in a day? Anybody to attempt? Anybody who has an idea? Yes? Infinite? That's one answer. Another person, and don't Google, please. Anybody to attempt? Yes? 0 decisions. Between 500 and 700. Yes, there, the last one. 35,000, you got it right. The human mind in a day makes a whooping 35,000 decisions. When I learned that fact, it shocked me, because I was wondering, when does the brain stop? So learning is continuous, and you as educators, you are the custodians of that provision, of that program that is always ongoing, and every day we make those decisions. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to Kenya. And as I told your president this morning, I think it was in the afternoon when we met, those who are coming to Africa for the first time, rarely do they go back. And I asked him that if this is his first time, and after he goes to Masai Mara and sees what we have there, he will only call his country for his bags to be brought. But Your Excellency, it is with great pride and honor that I join you today for the prestigious International Confederation of the Principals Convention. Your Excellency, I wish at the outset to thank you for finding time out of your very, very busy schedule to grace this opening of this conference, or the opening of this conference. Your presence here today is a strong testimony to your unwavering commitment to the future of education in our great nation and indeed beyond. Your Excellency, this gathering of secondary school leaders and managers drawn from across the globe is an important meeting of leaders where they share their experiences and collaborate. It is an ample opportunity for us, Your Excellency, to share our diverse experiences and insights. We also have the opportunity to reflect on the challenges that we have faced in our unique circumstances and the opportunities that lie ahead. The diversity of this gathering is perhaps its greatest advantage and asset. This is because it presents us with a chance to share varied experiences and to deliberate on the best practices in school management and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, as a country, we are happy to share with you the progress we've made and the challenges that we've faced over the years. As demonstrated in the recently concluded 2024 Paris Olympics, Kenya is a home of champions in sports. However, we also pride ourselves as a beacon of excellence in the region in the provision of quality and relevant education. We realize that this is an aspiration that we must continually pursue as education is dynamic and an ever-evolving process. In view of this, allow me to highlight some of the concrete steps we've made so far in expanding access to equality in education in our basic education institutions. One of our top priorities over the years has been to bridge the gap between urban and rural communities when it comes to educational opportunities. We have made significant investments to build new schools and educational facilities in all corners of our country. From constructing and renovating classrooms and ensuring that our schools have access to the same learning resources such as textbooks, we are leaving no one behind and leaving no stone unturned in our commitment for equity in education in our country. But building schools is just the beginning. We have also pioneered the use of mobile schools to serve children in our pastoral communities. By leveraging on the power of technology, such as solar power devices, we are bringing interactive learning experiences to the most remote regions of this country. This dynamic approach ensures that no child is left behind, no matter how far they may be from their nearest brick and mortar school. We are continuously placing emphasis on the promotion of inclusive and equitable education for all children, regardless of their background or circumstances, to nurture their full potential as envisioned in our current education system. Ladies and gentlemen, so far, I can confidently declare that we've managed to overcome geographical barriers and brought the gift of learning to all, including the most far hard-to-reach children in the far corners of our country. We are now implementing the comprehensive curriculum reforms that have ever been seen in this country. The purpose of this is to ensure that our education system holistically equips our students with skills, knowledge, and values necessary to thrive and succeed in the 21st century. In secondary education, the government's 100% transition policy has been a game changer. This year, for example, 97% of learners transited from primary to secondary school. Building on lessons learned from this transition policy, we aim to extend our efforts to enhance the transition from junior to senior schools within the context of Kenya's competency-based curriculum. Ladies and gentlemen, one key lesson that we've learned as we roll out the reform process and as we implement transformative policies in the education sector is that stakeholder participation is critical. Education is a sector that affects almost all the households in the country. Collecting, taking into account as many perspectives from as many different sectors is therefore extremely critical. Given the direct impact of the sector on households, policies have to be sensitive to stakeholder needs and interests. The other important lesson, Your Excellency, that we've learned is that key decisions in the sector have to be based on accurate and valid evidence. Evidence-based decisions result in optimal utilization of the scarce resources that we have and lead to a more efficiency and effectiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest challenge, however, is that of funding. Growing access and equality means more demands on the exchequer. We need to build more classrooms, provide increased capitation, recruit and retool additional teachers, and procure learning resources. As a government, we have incrementally enhanced funding to the education sector. At present, our education budget is at 27% of our annual public spending, far exceeding the UNESCO recommended of 15 to 20%. This increased spending is a positive demonstration of the government's commitment to education. However, it raises the question of whether the resources are being employed optimally and whether such growing funding is sustainable. Many of the possible answers to these questions lie with you, the leaders in the education sector, as the individuals who are charged with the management of these resources in the institutions that you lead. Part of the solution we have devised in our context is to strengthen the capacity of school managers and their support staff. We are also working on a legal framework that enhances coordination and harmonization in the provision of resources to eliminate wastage through duplication. We realize that ultimately the solution lies in strong data and information management systems. This is why we've embarked on digitization and creating an information management system that will be a single source of truth on the entire education sector. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, our teachers' unions have issued a strike notice, partly on the basis of their legitimate demands that have been made and pledges that have been made. These demands are legitimate, but also the government challenges are legitimate. As I've already indicated, we believe in stakeholder involvement and consultation. Such consultation should be authentic and should take into account all the factors and available evidence and data. And also, it is to be mutual. All stakeholders must therefore be ready to understand and to work together so that we can reach a solution that is for the best benefit or that benefits the child. All the decisions that we make in the sector must be for the interest of the learner. I am confident that despite our present challenges, the government and unions will come together and reach an amicable solution that prioritizes the best interests of the learners. I therefore urge all our unions to give priority to dialogue in order to ensure smooth teaching and learning. And I'm happy to report that there is going to be a meeting tomorrow between the government and the unions to discuss this matter. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, your unions are a critical cog in the operation of our education system. In 2019, when we had COVID, we signed as a government with the unions a non-monetary CBA agreement. So I'm confident that even this time, we are going to have a authentic discussion and we'll get a solution. From tomorrow, when we do the discussions, we'll be able to inform you what we've agreed. On the issue, I know that is challenging to the public as we speak of the new funding model. The funding model has been in existence for 29 years. The only thing that has changed is that the means testing instrument was adjusted and reviewed to ensure that those children who need the government support most benefit most from the government funds. So that children of those who can afford, such as myself, can bear my rightful share of the school burden. And we've created a portal where we've allowed the students to appeal so that if you have data, information to show that you've been put in the wrong band, we are working every single minute to reband you. Because the policy is no child should miss school because of money. We begin with that. So going forward, I can assure the country that within the next few weeks, next few days, we are going to resolve that matter, and each and every child who deserves to be in school will be, because we are doing 100% transition. Thank you. In conclusion, it is now my great honor to invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, His Excellency Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, to deliver his remarks. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya, and enjoy your stay.
The President of the International Confederation of Principals, the President of the African Confederation of Principals, ICP Council members, Association of Principals from various countries, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Julius Ogamba, Principal Secretary, Belio Kipsang, the outgoing Kesha Chairperson, Indimuli Kahi, and the incoming Mr. Willie Kuria, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm here first to deliver the statement on behalf of President William Ruto. So what I'm going to read is not my speech, but his speech. But time allowing, I will add one or two things at the end of the remarks. But before I go into that, let me also take this opportunity to congratulate a number of you, those who are leaving after having served in various capacities and those who are incoming. I also want to congratulate Indimuli as he moves to a different stage and Willie Kuria comes in. Last but not least, Let me also congratulate the Minister, my colleague Julius Gamba. I watched him as Parliament was grilling him a few weeks ago, and I want to say congratulations on your appointment. Thank you. Let me also acknowledge the Vice Chancellor, Laba Nairo, who did make a presentation here. And also with me, I would like to acknowledge Madam Agnes Odhiambo. She was the former controller of budget in Kenya. And now she schools me on matters of governance and public finance. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me proceed. I am delighted to join you for the 2024 International Confederation of Principals World Convention. It is a privilege for us to welcome you all to this convention, which is the second ICP gathering to be held in Africa and the first since the COVID-19 pandemic. Let me thank the ICP Council for choosing Kenya to host an event of this magnitude. This is a testimony to the important role that our country plays in the development of the education sector on the global stage. We are also proud that one of our own sons, Mr. Kai Indimuli, is representing Africa on the ICP global body. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this conference, Future Pathways for Learning and Learners, reflects the urgent need for us to reflect on how to position the education system in a rapidly evolving global environment. Education faces a multitude of challenges globally, particularly from the technological innovations, inclusivity, climate change, globalization changes in production systems, and shifting demographic trends. You have a responsibility to deliver quality education that responds to this new global context. Furthermore, you need to navigate the peculiar circumstances that your schools experience due to lack of adequate learning facilities, competent teachers, textbooks, parental support, and community engagement. These challenges define your roles as principals, particularly in advancing the critical value of schools in shaping the conscience of society. You are entrusted with the responsibility of managing the school environment, which is the incubation center of knowledge and character development of young members of our society. A conducive learning environment enables the learners to acquire academic skills and learn the values and social competencies that guide them throughout their lives. Your pivotal role in managing schools and shaping the future of learners demands a unique blend of visionary leadership, administrative acumen, and unwavering commitment. You need to cultivate a positive school culture and ensure the well-being and growth of both students and staff. Principals in secondary schools are instrumental in molding the youth who are just about 13 to 18 years old. At adolescence, learners require continuous guidance, mentorship, and coaching. Apart from delivering the curriculum, teachers shape the character of the students and subsequently prepare them to be useful citizens. Additionally, principals are the driving force behind the success of any educational institution. They provide leadership in resolving complex issues ranging from resource constraints to evolving educational policies with diverse and competing stakeholder interests. Here in Kenya, the government has continuously engaged principals and stakeholders in driving the transformation of our education sector. We proudly acknowledge the Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association as a key player in secondary education in particular and in the entire education sector in general. Through the membership of various decision-making bodies, KESHA remains instrumental in the management of schools and formulation of critical education policies. Together with principals and other stakeholders, we have collectively made important national decisions that are shaping the future of Kenyans across the entire country. These include providing free basic education for all learners in public primary and secondary schools. Under this education model, the government provides capitation per learner to all schools. It also supplies textbooks and pays examination fees for all candidates. This learning model, which is being enhanced through the National Education Sector Strategic Plan for 2023 to 2027 to quality education, has lifted a huge burden off the shoulders of parents, guardians, and the community, who are left to provide meals, uniforms, and personal items to students. Moreover, it has enhanced equity in education access, thus empowering students from lowest endowed backgrounds. We have also adopted a competency-based education system with the aim of having an engaged, empowered, and ethical citizenry. Our system of education now focuses on competencies such as communication and collaboration, critical thinking and problem solving, creativity and imagination, digital literacy, learning to learn, self-efficacy, and citizenship. We are particularly keen on preparations for transition of our learners from junior school to senior school as we phase out our current education system that offers 8 years in primary, 4 years in high school, and 4 years in university. Our new education system offers 2 years in pre-primary, 6 years in primary, 3 years in junior school, 3 in senior school, and 3 at university. The first cohort of students under the model will join grade 10 in 2026. The senior school will provide an opportunity for learners to pursue pathways of interest depending on their abilities and career choices. Collaboration between the school administration, parents, or guardians, and the community is a cardinal pillar of our education system. Parental empowerment and engagement encourage parents and guardians to continuously engage in the administration of the development of their children. Learners are also encouraged to get involved in community affairs, while school boards of management enable the community to participate in the affairs of schools in their neighborhood. We are also implementing comprehensive curriculum reforms that address global concerns and also empower every learner to achieve their potential. Another notable initiative is prioritizing investments in targeted programs that enhance access for learners with special needs. Through the community-driven initiatives, we are striving to clear the barriers that have long prevented these children from realizing their aspirations. Our dream is to see an education system that promotes diversity and inclusion, while driving economic and social transformation in line with the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda and Kenya's Vision 2030. Along this education transformation journey, we have learned important lessons that we can share with you to enhance the outcomes of our deliberations here. These include the cardinal value of strategic leadership, which is necessary to ensure that educational institutions remain relevant, effective, and responsive to the needs of individuals, societies, and economies. Our collective duty is to explore imaginative approaches, discuss the future directions for learners and learning, and make resolutions with respect to the professional development of our colleagues through global perspectives. This forum, therefore, provides a unique opportunity for all participants to share their thoughts with a view of exploring ways of collaboration. We must not lose sight of the fundamental principle of equity, that every child deserves the opportunity to succeed in their dreams. We hope that by leveraging on the diverse experiences and expertise of participants from around the globe, we shall drive positive change and ensure that our learners are sufficiently prepared to fit in the global environment. It is imperative for us to acknowledge the internal challenges facing the education sector in general, ranging from mismatch between skills offered in our school curricula to the expectations of the current global industrial and labor changing markets. I am confident that through your collective wisdom, dedication, and innovative spirit as leaders, you will convert challenges at your experience into opportunities for sustainable progress. The future of our nations rests squarely on our shoulders as education leaders. Let us share our thoughts and perspectives openly and make resolutions that would ensure every child, regardless of their background, has access to an education that will unlock their full potential. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by underlining the importance of collaborative and mutually supportive relationships with our communities that truly hold the key to our success. This will enable us to unleash the transformative power of education for the benefit of all our children and our citizens. I wish you fruitful deliberations for shaping the future of our education, anchored on our shared commitment to the African Union Agenda 2063 and the United Nations Sustainable Goals. Let me also encourage our visitors to take time after your meeting to explore the rich diversity of our Kenyan culture, parks, and beaches. You are assured of a memorable, magical Kenya experience. It is now my pleasure and honor to declare the 2024 International Confederation of Principals World Convention officially open. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was the statement by President William Ruto, who was destined to be the chief guest, but he assigned me to come in and represent him. But let me make just one or 2 points as I reflect on my own thoughts. Let me just pick up something that is agonizing us, and particularly those from the African continent. And I want to wear my hat now as a foreign minister. How do you handle education in a world of conflict? As we speak today, there are close to 100 million young people out of school in Africa. If you're looking at the conflicts in the Sahel region, right through the middle, and in other parts of the continent, we have over 100 million young boys and girls who are out of school. What will they become in the various stations that they are at this point in time? We have seen that in Africa, when there is conflict, a country can take even 40 to 50 years to recover. And even in our neighborhood here, in the Horn of Africa, where there has been conflict, the countries are yet to fully recover. So it seems that conflict is also helping us generate a lost generation. We are creating a lost generation. And therefore, as you deliberate, it might be useful to really interrogate this. How do we handle education in a world that is full of conflict? And what can we do to make sure that the future is not bleak? What happens to the values that I've talked about in this speech that we are supposed to inculcate? Are we doing that to the young people that we are producing? The other point I just want to leave and share with you is that let us also take the issue of climate change very seriously. For Kenya, in the last few years, maybe the last two, we had a debilitating drought, the worst in 40 years, and then everything swung like a pendulum, and the next thing we had floods. And our estimate indicates, and this is data that I got from the Ministry of Education, that over 4,000 classrooms were destroyed by the floods during that period. I'm not even talking of the destruction to the bridges and access to schools, to hospitals, and what else was destroyed. But we must also now live with the reality that climate change is also becoming a serious hindrance to education. And therefore, I would request that you apply your thoughts, your ideas, and your strategies to this particular challenge. Then there's the global economy. In Africa, we are 1.4 million people. 70% are young. But we do more trade with the rest of the world than Africa. Intra-African trade is just about 30%. But Africa's trade with the rest of the world constitutes 70%. I want to ask you, is it just infrastructure that is a barrier to this inter-Africa trade? Or is education also a hindrance? How fast are we training our young people to embrace integration amongst themselves? Where is the position of language in our continent? Are we training each other to communicate with each other, or are we teaching Africans to communicate with the rest of the world and not communicate with themselves? That, again, may be something you may want to ponder over. Then the issue of artificial intelligence, the $64 million question. Is it the dog that is wagging the tail, or is it the tail that is wagging the dog? How are we harnessing artificial intelligence? Is it for the good of our society, our people? Or are we now beginning to face a scenario where artificial intelligence is also being used in the negative way? I'll speak for Kenya. Just a few weeks ago, we saw how the social media and artificial intelligence can be galvanized, mobilized, and weaponized to actually cast hatred amongst each other, to actually generate violent action amongst ourselves, generate destruction, because it happened, and maybe people felt that they were not responsible. So in our educational system and our practice, how do we inculcate the spirit of responsibility amongst the young people that we teach? But don't be fooled, because as we had our share, even developing nations did have their share. Not too long ago, one of the developing countries also saw a situation where this kind of attack or this kind of approach was used to rally chaos and hatred and destruction. So it is now another global problem. So let us answer the question. Is it the dog wagging the tail, or the tail wagging the dog? Finally, on a lighter note, when I was lighter, I used to play rugby. So when I saw the contingent from South Africa, and when I saw the contingent from New Zealand, I knew that at the end of this month, there's going to be a big match between the All Blacks and the Springboks. I think it's 30th of August. Yeah. Remember I said when I was lighter. I didn't say when I was younger. When I was lighter, I used to play rugby. But let me tell you that I will not tell you who I favor under the circumstances, because it would be awkward for me to do so. So I'll leave it at that. But once in a while, I practice the haka. I will not do it today. But next time I will be able to do it. But when all is said and done, let me welcome all of you from wherever you did come from to join us and be part of this excellent day. I wish you successful deliberations, and we definitely look forward to reviewing and benefiting from the recommendations that and resolutions you'll make here. Pongezi sana, congratulations, and may you have the best of your time here. Asante sana.
Thank you. Another round of applause to His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Thank you very much. We can take our seats again. I know in another function you would want to leave immediately, but this being a function of educationist, we will release you when you feel that we are done with you. We are not yet done. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have some group photographs as follows. After we've done some little presentations, we will have a group photograph first with the guest of honor and the Minister of Education and the PS with the ICP executive. The second photograph will be with the local organizing committee. The third will be with the keynote speakers, those who have spoken and those who are yet to speak. I've seen them in the room to come. And lastly, with the representative or the leader of delegations from all the countries that are participating, one leader at this point. But before that, we have a few gifts to give. The first gift will be given by the president of ICP. Where is Sophia? Kindly collect the gift from an officer there. Linda Tijan, come. And I would also invite Kul from India, please come. And kindly request the Prime Cabinet Secretary just to come forward and receive this gift. Move in the center for photograph. With a student from India who studied in Kenya. When she went back to India, she introduced African art in their school, and that is what she was talking about. As she talks, kindly get us some seats for the group.